Hey guys, welcome back to another PS2 Memories video. Here we are taking a look at Captain Scarlet that was released on the PlayStation 2 back in 2006. Now this game is somewhat of a throwback to the iconic Captain Scarlet TV series that was very popular way back in the 1960s, long before my time or pretty much most of us watching this video. But anyone that does remember it will be familiar with it. Even going back to, I do remember even as a child growing up, they used to play repeats of the show on a Friday evening and you would actually get to see it, even to a point where my parents and even your own parents may have even grown up watching the show also. So the game follows along kind of a side story with Captain Scarlet, where you're pretty much trying to save humanity from the enemies that were familiar within the series itself. But the full premise of this game is focused around driving and exploring around different environments in whatever vehicle that you're currently driving, while completing simple enough tasks and objectives throughout each level in the game. Now, the game for the most part is very short in terms of what it offers, and even the missions themselves aren't overly long, but the objectives inside of each of the levels are quite easy to complete for the most part. Now the levels and the difficulty will slightly increase as you go through the game, especially in the later levels when you're especially trying to fend off more enemies at once, because they can destroy you very quickly. But as you go through the game, you will start off like in a training mode where you're getting used to the controls and familiarity with the vehicles that you're using. Then you will get access then to be able to use the weapons on the vehicles, like using the likes of rockets and even like machine guns and stuff like that, so that you can shoot at and destroy enemy vehicles when you're going through the missions, as they are also part of some of the objectives within the game. Throughout each mission is to kill X amount of enemies or complete certain tasks within a certain time limit and so forth. Like the tasks themselves are very simplistic. The overall style and premise pretty much of the game is very simplistic, and it is more or less based around a budget style game. Even though it uses a well-known franchise, the game itself is also kind of more of a budget style game, and you'll notice that in the way that it plays. Now it's not to say that it's bad, but it is very simplistic. It's one of those type of games, after you've played it once, there may not be a chance that you might want to go back and play it again, because again, there's not really enough, from what I've seen in it from playing it, there's not enough depth in it to really get familiar with the characters, especially if you're coming into it from a fresh perspective where you've no background in Captain Scarlet. It'll be very hard for you to even get used to or even get a feel for the characters in the game, because they're really non-existent, as you only kind of see them like on screenshots where you're going through missions and they're telling you the objectives, and pretty much you're just driving cars the whole time, so you don't really get an idea of the characters. And because the missions are so simple in their nature, there is possibly a chance that you may quickly get bored and you may not want to play the game again. Or even if you have finished the game, chances are you might only just play it for a quick playthrough, but once you've seen everything you need to see in the game, it's probably unlikely that you'll want to go back. But you would have been able to pick this game up, say in bargain bins and so forth, for like relatively cheap, so even if you wanted something for a quick playthrough, this would have been worth a look back in the day, just to see what all the fuss was about. As this game, along with a lot of others, were also kind of like a big mainstream list of budget style games that were using names from popular franchises just to pretty much get a game out there. Some of them were okay, some of them probably not so good, and we will go over them in more videos on the channel, so be sure to watch out for them. So Captain Scarlet is another one of those games, like I said, is more of a budget style title, and it plays okay for what it does. It's very simplistic in its nature, it pretty much does what it says it's going to do, but once you've finished it, it may be unlikely that you'll want to go back to it, and it may not be for everybody, but it's totally up to yourself. But is it something that's worth experiencing? In my opinion, I would give it a go and just see what you think of it for yourself if you are into these type of games, because even with the likes of the games on the PlayStation 2, there is something for everybody. Even with the likes of budget style games like this, you may find something in it that you might actually like. There may even be a hidden gem amongst all of these games, as there was a lot of them that were released during the mid-life cycle of the PlayStation 2, even towards the end of its lifespan. There was a lot of these games that started to come up around the mid-2000s, so they are worth a look in their own right, just to see what they're like. Now they wouldn't be as good in terms of the development quality compared to more mainstream and more high-end games, you'll notice that straight away, but they're still worth a look if you can find it cheap in a bargain bin somewhere, or if you can get access to it, just to see what all the fuss is about. And I'd love to know your thoughts on this game if you have played it yourself. or if you played similar style of games like this, and what do you think of them? Did you enjoy them or maybe not so much? Be sure to share it down in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more videos where I do provide other reviews and other gameplay elements of quirky and unique style games like this here, where I do share my thoughts and experience with everyone, then be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be updated when future videos are released. And be sure to check out the playlist here on the screen, where I do provide other reviews and gameplay videos of similar style games that were also released on the PS2. So be sure to check those videos out, and I will see you all over in the next one.